Hello everybody. I don't know if you guys are just new to Marvel Rivals and you're looking at this video, or if you're actually just someone who watches my videos like some weirdo. So I figured that it would be a good idea to talk about some beginner friendly heroes for people to pick up, because with constant updates and everything going on, there's always new people coming to the game, and at first it can always seem like a lot to get into if you don't know what you're doing. So I figured I would put a list together, and I have two heroes for each role between Vanguard, Duelist, and Support that I think are pretty beginner friendly to kind of pick up and just to dip your toes in the water, and you can just go from there. These aren't the worst heroes, it's just these heroes have like the easiest kit in my opinion to learn, or the easiest to get used to first. They don't have a super high skill ceiling or anything like that, but again, if they are played right, they can be really dangerous compared to every other hero. Every hero is good, it all depends on how you use it. And the first Vanguard that I have for y'all is Magneto. Alrighty, so with Magneto, he has a lot, but not a lot at the same time, if that makes sense. You have your normal attack, which about from decent range headshots take about 4 hits. Vanguards usually don't do a lot of damage. They're not damage. They're Vanguards. They're just tankier. They have a lot more health and are more supportive when it comes to pushing a payload or a point or objective, whatever. So he has an interesting kit. He has his main attack, but he also has the right click, which can do it does like a good amount of damage. It makes it to where it does about 2 normal bullets of damage, but it does take a minute to charge up back fully, and that's what the 3 arrow things are down there. So if you use all 3, it'll do that much versus using just 1. So it's better to charge it up all the way if you want to get max value out of it. So he has his shield, which it comes up for a couple seconds. It can block in some stuff. It does not last long at all, but it does have a short cooldown. So you can't just spam it, so you need to time it a bit. But overall, it's pretty simple. Something coming, you just block it and move on. He has shields. Well, he just died. And you can give a teammate a shield, but it puts both abilities, E and F if you're on keyboard, and if those are your keybinds, your E and F ability on cooldown together. So once I get it back, I can press the other one and give myself a shield, which will also make the other one go on cooldown. So it is a bit annoying in my opinion, but just think of it as every 12 seconds you can give yourself or someone else a shield, while you also still have that shield as well. Magneto's ult is very simple. You just press it and it charges up. The longer you charge up, the more damage it does. And so it has a pretty good AoE, and it also can absorb incoming projectiles. But that is Magneto. The other Vanguard that I want to show you guys that I recommend for beginners on the tank side is Venom. So Venom does have a short-ish range, but he's more of a let me be in your face kind of hero. What you want to do with him is you want to dive in, do damage, be annoying, make them focus you so that your team can do whatever they need to, and then swing back and get away. Swing ability, which if you go up here, you can swing into the battle, swing in, and do whatever you need to do. There's also another ability while you're in the air. You can slam down using one of your abilities. For me, my keybind is E. So you swing up in the air and you slam down, and it does a little bit of damage, but it really just makes it easier for the surprise element and to just get a little bit of damage off so your teammate or you can finish them off. He has another ability, which is, for me, right click. It attaches itself to other people, and it does damage. Now, they can get away. It does have a limited range, so they can't just detach from it. So you kind of want to stay close to them and be aware that they can still shoot and everything while you're in it. He also has a good amount of health. He has 800, but what you can do is you can press the E ability and he gets 960, and he also has armored health as well. What you want to do with the E ability is you want to use it once you get lower in health. As you can see, I'm at 225, press E, and I'm at 1000. so it's a lot better the longer you wait to use it. His ultimate is very simple. You can roam around, claw up, and do some damage. It's not very heavy on damage. It's more of just to weaken them or pressure them off the point, or you use it for if you see a couple people that are low, you can just use that to quickly finish them off and move on. But that's pretty much his kit, and that's how you use Venom. Next up is Duelist, aka Damage. I just call them Damage. And the first one up is an obvious answer. You've probably been recommended it a lot of times if you've seen multiple videos or asked friends who play it, and it is Punisher. Alrighty, so Punisher is your normal just gun character. He's kind of like a default character. Not saying that's bad, he's actually pretty strong. He has his main attack, which is pretty quick to get a kill, and then you have your smoke grenade, which can blast you back if you're in a bit of a jam, but it also does a little bit of damage if you're close up as well. So that can be nice to use on however you need to use it. And then he has an L-shift ability, which lets him grapple, and you can get up to high places if you need it, or just move around, or get out of spawn faster. And what's cool about it is that it will stay there, so you can leave spawn and just use it multiple times. So it's really nice. His next ability is his E ability, and you're going to be using this the most. It is really crazy on damage. You can use it for a while, and you want to use this either in the back line, or you want to use it when you're high up, which you can grapple again as well, so you can use that as a good setup. And it has a lot of health too while you're inside of it. And that's pretty much his abilities, and then he has his ult. Judge, jury, executioner, which does a lot of damage. It can be really good to just get multiple kills and pressure the point. And he's just a really high damage character. And I did forget to mention that he has his normal gun, and then you can switch to a shotgun and do more close-up damage, and it's all depending on you. But he has a lot to offer, but not at the same time. It's pretty simple to memorize and learn, so he's probably like the best beginner-friendly duelist in my opinion. The other option that I have for beginner-friendly duelist is Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is pretty easy. Alright, so she's pretty simple. She kind of has like Junkrat grenade launchers. You can use it, they explode on impact, or you can bounce them and do damage that way. She's really good for staying out of sight, but then getting those hits and those kills, or even just using them to bounce off walls and things like that, to keep yourself out of people's LOS, but being able to do damage and everything else. She has her other ability. You could throw it at them, and it imprisons them and makes them not able to move for a short duration. She also has her other ability. She just bounces up in the air. Nothing more to it. It's something simple, but it can be used to try and get away from sticky situations or get up on higher places if you need to. Alrighty, and then her other ability. Let's say you use an ability, you can use E, and then you can use that ability again. So it's used to reset the cooldown for a short amount of time on an ability. And then she has her ult, which is pretty simple and straightforward. You throw it out, and it'll bounce around the walls and damage opponents that it comes in contact with. Very good to use on the point. And overall, she is just, in my opinion, the best option other than Punisher, depending on what kind of playstyle you like more. When it comes to strategists, there's always two that come to mind when it comes to beginner friendly. The first one being my personal favorite main, Rocket. He has his normal firing, does damage, super simple, nothing crazy to it. And then you have your right click, which would be your aim depending on what you're using. And it's simple, it just heals, and you can also bounce it off stuff as well. Kind of like the Squirrel Girl stuff, but for healing. So he's pretty nice for just healing. And then he has his L shift, which you can dash forward. You can't dash backwards. It can only dash in the forward direction, like whatever direction you're using when you click the button. You can also use it to dash upwards and hold space to stay in the air. You can use that to, you know, get a better view of your team, which you can also use your wall climb to get mobility and fly up so that you can, you know, just stay above the air, make it easier to heal. His other ability is the BRB. What it does is it throws out armor and it throws out a like double jump. And what also happens is that perfect timing. So it revives a teammate so that they don't have to go to spawn. They'll just revive wherever you put the BRB at. And I see a lot of people play him wrong. The BRB, you want it to be a part of the battle, but you don't want to just throw it out in the middle because it has a really long cooldown. And if an opponent shoots it down, which it takes like 1 or 2 shots, then it has an even longer cooldown. And you want to have that out as much as possible throughout the game. His ult, there's no reason to save his ult, really. It's just, it amplifies damage, so you just do more damage. It's pretty good for team fights, but it's nothing too crazy. Next up is Jeff the Land Shark. Now, Jeff can do damage in 2 different ways. He has his normal, and then he has his spit, which also does a bit of knockdown. So those are 2 ways you can damage people. And then you can use the water gun, I guess, and use that to heal. And as you can see, trying to do this does not heal. So you can only heal by doing this. He has his L-shift ability, which you can use to walk around, get in and out of sticky situations, or get places faster. And you can also use them on walls, but it's not infinite, so you got to be careful with that. And then he also has his bubbles. You can use bubbles and you can heal when you walk in them. Alright, as you can see, I'm at 60 and I walk through a bubble and it heals me over time. And it heals a pretty good, decent amount too. You can throw them at people and you can also just place them around on the map too, wherever you know people are going to go or where they're needed. And opponents cannot strike them down. They can't get rid of them. The only way to get rid of them is if a teammate or you walks through them. The ult is very simple. You go down and you can swallow teammates and opponents, and then it does damage to them. You can also go off the edge of the map and spit them out, as well as spitting out your own teammates. And that's pretty much all there is to Jeff the Land Shark. He's really beginner friendly, in my opinion, and I think he's a good, if you don't want to play Rocket, you can play him, and if you don't want to play Jeff, you can play Rocket. I hope you guys, you know, if you are beginners in this game, I hope you guys find this game to be fun, because I sure do. As much as I find it rage-inducing, it is really fun as well. And characters are also always changing. They're always getting buffed. They're always getting nerfed, reworked, or whatever the case may be. So always be on the lookout for those kind of updates. And if you guys ever want to play Marvel Rivals with me, just shoot, give me a text in my Discord server or on any of my socials. Always down to play with you guys. And see you guys next time.